Breakdown update on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience. That is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, yeah, I made that quick update, or a quick video earlier when I was broken down. As my wife had said while I was on the phone with her, well, you know, you've got a lot of people who've helped you before. Throw a video up there. Luckily, I had really good internet where I was, and so threw that up there, and did thank everybody. I want to thank everybody so much for a lot of people sent me emails and gave me suggestions. Some people even looked up places nearby, some of which I had called, some I hadn't. You know, Love's was going to be over 10 hours before they could come out, you know, and that was just an estimate. I did calling the TA Express here in Steele, North Dakota, and said, look, you know, if I gave you a credit card over the phone or something, can you, you know, can I pay for some coolant? Do you have anybody who can bring it out? I'll pay him cash, you know. No, we don't take payments over the phone. Really? But they gave me the name of Rob, who has Steele Auto Body and Lube. And so I had his number, gave him a call, and I said, look, I'm broken down here on I-94. Around mile marker, whatever it was, 235, 234, something like that. I said, you know, if you can bring me some, you know, coolant, I would appreciate it. I tried to patch it with my rubberized Gorilla Tape, and that might just work. It's, you know, stopped leaking for now, but I ran out of fluid. I used all the bottled water I had left. I had like 10 or 12 or something bottles, and I poured all that in there. I had almost a gallon of coolant, poured all that in there. No, he brought out 7 gallons of coolant. We put 4 in and got it up to the level so it would start up again. So we tried that, got going, and I said, well, okay, please follow me, just in case this doesn't work. You know, he came from Steele, which was about 35 miles away. We made it about 7 miles down the road, and then it shut down on me again. Yeah. So got pulled over to the shoulder, and you know, we opened the hood up again, and yeah, it dropped too low, and we looked on the other side, yeah, and it was pissing out each side of the little try to fix I tried to do with the Gorilla Tape. So he said, well, this is a heater hose line. You know, you can go without that. You got any vice grips? Ha-ha! Yes, I do. I carry all my tools with me. I got 2, and he needed 2. So we clamped those on there, and I was able to clamp it down enough to where it wasn't spewing coolant anymore. We used the last 3 he had, and he also had actually another one just in his pickup, thank God. And then we put in, he had a couple of bottles of water. I grabbed the last few bottles of water I had in my fridge that were cold, and we poured those in there, and that got us all the way over here to Steele, North Dakota, to the TA truck stop, or the TA Express. So he's from Steele. He's got this shop here, and we looked at the hose again once we got here, and of course it had dropped down a little bit more. So I wouldn't have made it much farther, even with those clamped off. Thank God it was just a heater hose, which, you know, you don't need in the summer months. That's just to run heat into the cab, is essentially what that does. So we were able to clamp that off. And he looked at the size hose and said, I might just have one of those, let me go to the shop. He ran over there and came back, and he's got it. Here it is. Just a standard silicone hose, about 3/4 inch. There you go. So, you know, he said, well, I can leave that with you, and you can try to do it tonight, or I can come back tomorrow and we'll do it together. And I'm like, yeah, if you could come back tomorrow, I'd appreciate that, because for one, it's dark. Let's wait for the daylight. We've got to cut off some zip ties, so I may need to do that. This is just about the right length, luckily. And this is what I need right here. He had one, thank God. I feel like Aquaman, or not, what is it, Doc Ock from Spider-Man. Anyway, so we have the hose, thank God. So now just a matter of fixing that tomorrow. The reason, you know, I said, you know, if you could come back and help me, you know, I'd appreciate it, because when you're dealing with coolant, you know, the problem is now, you know, we don't want to lose all the coolant we just put in. We just put in over $100 worth of coolant and stuff, you know, so I need buckets. I need, you know, because when you're going to have to try to remove it, well, then it's just going to all piss all back out again. So, and you can't remove it and then put another one on, you know, quick enough, you know, we'd have to have it clamped off again. So I think between the two of us tomorrow, with a few buckets to catch whatever's going to come out while we try to put in the new line. That's the problem, is you either got to drain the whole system, or you got to at least have some buckets and stuff to catch what's there and try to move things real quick. And I think between two of us and some buckets, we'll be able to get it done. And at least it's the right length, so it'll be the whole length. It won't just be a quick little repair, which is what I was maybe going to do. I figured, well, maybe if I can get enough coolant in there and limp it on up to Bismarck, another 50 miles from here to where there's a couple of O'Reillys, I'm sure I would have been able to find, this type of hose. And then I would have, if I could get the little nipple stuff that goes on the inside and hose clamps, I could have just cut off a chunk and done that myself. But the problem is, if the hose is already broken once in the middle there, that tells you the hose is getting bad. You really should replace the whole thing. So that's going to be what we're going to do tomorrow. We might as well replace the whole thing, right? Because I could patch it, but maybe in another couple of months, we still got hot weather, it could bust again in another spot. So at least we have the right length, we have the right hose, and it'll just require some zip ties, a couple of clamps, hose clamps maybe, and a couple of people to try to clamp here while we're pushing on there and trying to catch it in buckets so we don't lose it all, because coolant's expensive. So, but luckily that guy local was here, and he was able to come out and help me out, and tells you how trusting and nice a guy this guy is, this Rob from Steele Auto Body and Lube. Rob, if you're watching this, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, because he didn't make me pay him until we got back here to Steele. So I was driving in front of him. Then right before we got to the Steele exit, he pulled off in front of me. I'm sure making sure I would take the right exit. But, I could have kept going. I would have broken down again, but, trusting guy. So he let me pay him once we got here. So, it's after hours. It's a Saturday night, weekend, blah, blah, blah. So it cost me $400 for him to bring me, probably $150 in coolant, plus a couple hours time of his. That was worth it to get me off the side of the road. I hate sitting on the side of the road like that. It's just dangerous as hell. And I always say in videos, in the summer months, it always kills me when a family will pull off just on the shoulder because, Sally needs her doll out of the back. Oh my God, that's so dangerous. Don't ever do that. And they always do that within like a half mile of an off-ramp or a rest area. You should never park on the shoulder unless it's absolutely necessary. It's so dangerous. You see how people are so distracted these days with their damn phones and everything. They're not paying attention and they just drift a little bit. Wham! You're dead. So that's why I did not want to have to sit there on the side of the road. Yeah, I got a big trailer behind me that can absorb a lot of the shock, but still, then you got a giant mess. So people never pull off on the shoulder unless you absolutely have to, unless you're broken down. That's why some people just refer to it as the breakdown lane as opposed to the shoulder. So just a little tip there for you. Pull off in a rest area. Sally can wait a little bit to get her doll or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, no need to spew on anymore. He's going to come back tomorrow. We're going to try to get this all put together and get me back on the road. Oh, here's another reason, for the guy who kept saying, go work for JB Hunt. Yeah, I hope you're happy there and all that, but this is a JB Hunt load I'm on right now. It's paying well, which is great, but I spent 30 minutes on the phone with them tonight after I finally got here, trying to say, look, by the way, I'm broken down. I'm not going to get fixed till tomorrow, so I obviously won't deliver tomorrow. 30 minutes on hold, and then they hang up on me. I had to call back. 15 minutes on hold. Finally get a hold of somebody, and they say, oh, well, our system's down, so we can't look up anything for you right now. I'm like, look, I'm just trying to tell you I'm broken down. I will not make the delivery tomorrow. Can you write a little note so when your system comes back up, you can put that in and I don't have to call you again? This is why I don't like big companies. So, of course, they just say, well, then give us an update tomorrow when you're back on the road. Because that's what they always want to know. Well, what's your ETA? I don't know. I'm broken down. I'll call you when I'm fixed. What do you think? So, of course, this had to happen on my load to get me home. But I already talked to Mark at Whitestone's Logistics and said, look, yeah, this is what's happening. And he, I called him once I was back on rolling and made it here. He was glad to know I made it here. But see, here's the big difference between like JB Hunt and this guy. I could call him. I could text him and say, here's what's happening. He answers. Ah! What a shock. It's not, and who are you and what load number is this? All I have to do is call him up and say, here's my name. Hey, how you doing? And I'm broken down. And I'm not even working for him yet. And he was that concerned. That's pretty cool. So, with any luck, we'll be home sometime tomorrow maybe. And maybe we'll get this rescheduled for Monday or something. I'm glad it's going to Cheyenne. The Walmart distribution center is on the opposite side of town from me, but, you know, big deal. It's still like, what, 10 miles away at most? So if they don't get me rescheduled till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't care. At least I'll be home. There you go. So that's the update. I do want to give a special thanks again to John Hallgren, because, you know, I called him once I got rolling again and say, hey, I'm on my way. And he's been a subscriber with me for a long time and was helped me in a lot of the stuff on this remodel. You know, gave me lots of suggestions. He's the one who always gave me sketches and ideas to help fix things. And he did reply to a lot of the people in the comments after I posted the broke down video to let them know, yeah, I got some help, I am rolling. And so I obviously couldn't do that while I was trying to deal with all this. So John, thank you so much for responding for me to let everybody know what was going on. I really appreciate that. All right, well, there you go. Thanks for tuning in for that. And again, thanks to everybody who sent me emails and given me suggestions and support and all that. So with any luck, we'll be completely repaired tomorrow. We get back on the road and hopefully make it home. What do you think? There you go, right, Rusty? Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment. I get your comments as soon as I can. Sometimes takes a few days, thanks to breakdowns and all that. And also, I'm a working truck driver. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Wait a minute. Hold the phone, Chuck. We got all that space down at the morgue. We got all those cars. We could handle everything for your friend Belinda and all our girlfriends, too. Pimps? Are you saying we should become pimps? Ah, pimps is such an ugly word. We could call ourselves love brokers. Here it is. There it goes. Grab that bacon strip. Alrighty, happy dog. Yeah, it's been a rough few hours. All right, Rusty? Need that comfort food. Need that bacon strip, baby. Oh, yeah. I got mine. Bought myself some Ruffles. So there you go. All right. There's one more little piece. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's get the happy dog look.